I had this all figured out and then Hello, flute players of the internet. My name is Erin Spencer and I am a flute teacher and performer here in mid-Missouri. I play with all types of groups. I do some chamber playing, I play with professional and community orchestras locally. I do a lot of playing for musicals as well. So I do a wide variety of playing, and I also have a wide variety of abilities as far as students go. And I have a 14-month-old baby who you will probably hear in the background of some of these videos. So practicing has been a challenge, so I am making weekly flute practice vlogs or tips as kind of a way to keep myself accountable, but also because I do think some of what I have to say will be helpful to some of you guys, and I hope it is. So this week, since it's my first one, I'm going to be focusing mainly on my warm-up routine and letting you know what is on my stand that I'm practicing right now. So I like to change up my warm-up pretty frequently, but one element that is virtually always there is harmonics. As far as I'm concerned, those are one of the best ways to get your air really flowing, feel what it's like to really engage and use quick, fast air to get up to those high notes. So if you've never done a harmonic before, what you're gonna do is finger a low note in the first octave of the flute, so from C below the staff to C in the staff, and then you're gonna overblow it to get the higher notes. So for this example, I'll only finger a low G, but I'm gonna get several other notes. I usually just do 3 notes when I do harmonics. I do the low, the middle, and kind of the medium high one, and then I work my way up to the next high one. So sometimes I might start lower, but for today I'll start on a G. So what you're listening for when you're practicing harmonics is a smooth connection between the registers, and to make sure that you're producing the high notes using your air, not by tightening your embouchure. If you're doing it by tightening your embouchure, you're doing something wrong and you need to rely more on your air coming from your core. I might do another set of those, or there are lots of different variations you can do, like tonguing them or adding vibrato, and there are also quite a few songs that you can play by doing harmonics, so I might do one of those. I think harmonics are a super crucial part of my warm-up. Everything else, not super crucial depending on the day, but harmonics are something I do every time. A lot of days in my warm-up I will play all 12 of my major scales just because they're like memorized. I don't really have to think about playing them. I can focus on other aspects. But right now I know all my minor scales, but I feel like I need to know them better and be able to play them without thinking too much about the notes at faster tempos. So I've been trying to focus on my minor scales recently. So I might try to play all 12 minor scales if I had a lot of time to warm up, or on a day like today where I'm trying to get some practicing in while dinner's in the oven, then I might only do a few. And I might pick a couple that I'm more comfortable with and a couple that I'm less comfortable with. First I'll do G minor today. That's my favorite minor scale. I don't know, I've just always liked G minor, and my personal favorite is to do harmonic minor scales, so that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm just going to slur it because I want to think mostly about keeping my air connected. I still don't feel like I'm completely warmed up as far as using my air goes. So I was happy with most of that, except for my high F sharp. That's kind of a sticky, tricky note for me. So I'm going to do the whole scale again for that high F sharp, But first, I'm gonna just loop those top 3 notes. This is an exercise my professor at Mizzou, Alice Dade, was all about, was looping the top 3 notes of a scale, especially for the 3rd octave when you're getting into like really high B, C, and D range. So I felt a lot better with my air on that high F sharp this time, so now I'll try the whole scale again. Something was still sticky about that high F sharp, so I'm going to do the top octave this time. Ah, I was using thumb B flat. That'll do it. So that time, I didn't use thumb B flat, which always helps for high F sharp because you can't use thumb B flat for that note, and I had a much better air support on that high F sharp, so that was better. Now I'll do a minor scale that I'm not quite as comfortable with, so let's pick, I don't know, Matt, what minor scale should I do?
A.
A minor, that's like one of the easiest ones.
Oh, how about D flat?
D flat minor,
Sure.
He requested C sharp minor, which is definitely one that I'm not as comfortable with. So first I'm going to focus on the bottom 2 octaves of C sharp minor. I would like to also be pretty proficient at the top octave of C sharp minor, the 3rd octave, but I'm going to start with the bottom 2, and I already slurred my G minor, so this time I'm going to articulate this one, and I'm going to do kind of the scale rotations method, which is what my high school teacher liked to do, which is where you slur it once, single tongue it once, double tongue it once. So I'm going to do that for the bottom 2 octaves. I was pretty happy with all of those, so now I'll try the top octave. I'm just going to slur it. I felt like my fingers knew what they were doing, which is good because sometimes those high notes can be a little bit trickier. The fingerings aren't quite where we were used to, but my air was not very helpful connecting on the descending line, so I'm just going to do the descending. So there's my tricky spot, is between G sharp and F sharp, so I'm going to just go between those. That was much better as far as my air connecting between the G sharp and the F sharp, so now I'll try the whole thing again, up and down. There we go. That time I didn't have any breaks in the sound between any notes, which I'm pleased about for that. So I'll spend some time on scales, try and bring some of them maybe up in tempo, hopefully do some arpeggios as well. So for me, the most important thing about my warm-up is making sure that I get definitely harmonics, some scales for air, to connect your air, and some scales for articulation as well. Depending on the day, I might do a different articulation exercise, but right now I'm kind of in scale mode in my brain. So that's what my warm-up is entailing of mostly right now. And I'll usually sight read an etude as well, and then also work another etude up a little bit better than it was before. So sight reading is also part of my warm-up as long as I have the time for it. So what I am working on right now as far as performances go, I have a trio concert coming up with actually my piano teacher from last semester and a local clarinet player who plays in civic orchestra with me. We're going to be playing the Shostakovich 4 waltzes for flute, clarinet, and piano. The first one is just for clarinet and piano, and the second one's just for flute and piano, and then the last 2 are all 3 combined. So that will be really fun. I have the Shostakovich toddler almost got the flute. I have the Shostakovich 4 waltzes, and that's the only piece that we're doing as a full trio, but we have plenty of time to do solos on our own. And the piano player, I know her and I know that she'll be capable of basically sight reading the accompaniments for these pieces. So I specifically picked ones with relatively easy piano parts just because I wasn't sure how much rehearsal time we would have to put together. So I have Morceau de Concours, which I have accompanied people. Actually, all of these pieces I have played piano for people before, so I know that they're really easy to put together. The piano literally just has quarter notes in this one, so that's very simple. But the flute part offers a lot of opportunities for expression, which I really love. So I have Morceau de Concours, Tambourine by Gossec, which is fun because it's not actually that hard, but it sounds very energetic and lively, so I'm really enjoying that one. I actually played that in middle school, but it's fun to go back. Jade by Ferrot. French composers I'm always awful at pronouncing. I need to get better at that. But Jade, which one of my students is working on right now and actually playing for a college audition this weekend. That one doesn't have any accompaniment, so it's just up to me to get it up to par. And then Flute de Pan I have on my iPad. That one's by Moquet. Flute de Pan by Moquet. And I'm just doing the first movement of that one. So those are what I'm working on for that concert. And then in Civic Orchestra, we have a concert coming up, and we're doing Copland's Rodeo, which I'm so excited about. So I'm working on Hoedown and all the other movements from that. We're doing Bernstein's Symphonic Dances from West Side Story, and our director's father is Don Freund, who is a pretty well-known composer and teacher of composition, so we're doing one of his pieces. And then one of the students at Mizzou, we're playing his master's thesis piece, which I'm really excited about because he's awesome. And he also plays flute. Piano is his main instrument, but he also plays flute. That's what we're working on in Civic Orchestra. So those are the main pieces on my stand right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to this channel and check out the videos and recordings of my recitals, and some of my students' videos are on here too. And if you're interested, check out our vlog channel where I record videos with my husband and our adorable little son Lincoln. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so glad I finally recorded this. Yay! I've been wanting to do it for a long time. So thanks guys. See you next time. Bye.